I don't know. They always said it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. When you're going through a breakup, that isn't true.
I'm pretty good at it. Hey, if you don't like me, you don't like what I think, you don't like it, the door's over there.
And I also know where you live.
Yeah.
How are you, pal?
Good, how are you?
You got a drink?
Just, yeah, got this right here.
What is that?
It's the energy drink. It's cracking a can.
What is that, all caffeine?
Yeah, it's like caffeine and...
You don't drink liquor?
I do. I have my daughter here, so I'm week on, week off with my kid.
Well,
So
you can't be...
I won't, don't get me started. I'm
going to get you started.
No,
hopefully not so much that you kill me, but...
Oh, no. It's just my ex, and we're going through a divorce. We're going through a divorce, and like she's trying to make out like, oh, he's an alcoholic, does all this, and then like,
oh, I see.
We have a custody evaluation that.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You want to guess who the kids have never seen drink? This guy.
Really?
They've seen her drink.
Right.
But it's like I just don't drink around my kids. I drink normal.
Well, you're an athlete. Athletes, you can't really be a drunkard, but you're an athlete. I mean,
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I've drank my fair share at times, but I'm not.
Right.
It's like.
No, we don't need you drunk, Chuck.
No.
We don't. I do not want to see you. But how old is your daughter?
11.
Oh, 11.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting age. Not that I would know. I've never had children or wanted them, but I understand they're very popular. I mean, so many people, even celebrities like yourself, have children. What is it about the kids that I'm not getting?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I love my kids.
Of course.
I
know.
mean,
it's a much purer love than a relationship love, right?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. She's great. Like that, it's just.
But 11, that's right on the cusp of real trouble time.
You know, I have a 21-year-old.
A 21-year-old?
Yeah, really? She's graduating from UCSD next week.
How old are you?
53.
Wow. You look good. Amazing you can keep that kind of muscle on it at that age.
Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a lot of.
Wonder what it's like going to be like when I'm that age. Well, I hope. Oh, now you're laughing. But no, I know, like Stallone did a Rocky picture, I think when he was 60.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about Rocky's manager. I'm talking about Rocky. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
First of all, I love Sylvester Stallone. I just do. I love his movies. I love him. I guess I got to catch up with that reality show, but I don't want to risk like watching it and like not loving him like I've loved him. I always thought he was great.
Yeah.
But like 60 and you're in the ring and he was, and that, I don't think you could have gotten that body without steroids. Am I wrong?
I'm guessing. I'm not at that age. I mean.
But you don't do that.
No, I never did. I never did training. Didn't coming up. But I mean.
Yeah, I guess some guys some guys look like you couldn't get that body normally.
Yeah, I mean, we see that a lot.
You see that a lot. You fought guys like that.
Yeah, I mean, I fought guys that knew. But I always thought, if they were juicing to get up to my weight, I was cutting to get to my weight. I walked around at 215, 220, above 215, 220 since I was 19. So at 35, when I'm still fighting at 205, cutting down to 205, I'm about as strong as I'd never been muscled at that weight. No one's ever gone out and muscled me at that weight. So I never didn't see the.
But a lot of the fighters, they're not like Conor McGregor's not like a big guy.
He's a smaller weight class.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he fights a lot smaller, 45s and 55s.
So why did he?
170s.
So why did he become so famous? I mean, I don't know that much. This
marketing. He was exciting, and he won when he needed to. He won exciting. He beat some guys, knock guys out when he needed to. I mean, sometimes it's just.
And he had a personality.
He had a personality, and he was pushing it. And he got. I mean, it got huge. You know, he beat some bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's just nothing more primal than the...
You know, and I really think he beat what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Brazilian kid. Anyway, he knocked him out in the first round. I used to watch all his fights. I mean, and the kid always felt guys out, you know, move around for a round, and then he started beating on their legs, beat their legs up, and then go after them. And he ran right across the ring because he was mad. I mean, Conor got him mad, talking trash before the fight. He ran right across the ring and got knocked out. Got caught coming across the ring and it was over.
Wait, who got knocked out?
Jose Aldo. And he bad. So
he baited him into running across the ring?
Basically, he got him so mad, he just ran right across the ring. I mean, because he's an old school, like, Muay Thai guy, and they tend to, you know, they'll feel you out for a round, and they move around, but that getting in there, I mean, it's one thing about if you're talking trash, you're trying to, a lot of times if I talk trash at all before fights, I was trying to get in the guy's head. I was trying to get him to do something I wanted him to do.
Of course.
All right, say things that I wanted him to hear.
Right.
There's no, and so for me,
cast aspersions on his mother, perhaps.
I never went there.
Never went there?
No.
Mothers were off limits?
For me, there's a
you have a code, like the mafia.
Oh, no, Tito one time, Tito Ortiz, he said on a radio show in San Diego, he said, I don't date white trash bitches like Chuck. And I was pissed.
Why?
Because I don't talk trash about my girlfriend. Don't talk trash about
your girlfriend?
Yeah, I don't date white trash bitches like Chuck.
Oh, date white? I thought he was calling you white trash.
No, I don't care. But you know me, call me anything you want, talk shit all you want about me.
Sure, I could see why that would get a guy like you upset.
And it was just one of those things like, hey man, and I went and after he won, he wasn't even fighting me. He was fighting Vitor Belfort. He beat Vitor, and we were at the same place for after party. And the promoter knew me, and he said, "Look, your group's wants to fight. They're gonna fight. I can't have it. Can you squash this with him, please?" I said, "No problem. Bring him over." He came over, and I go, "Okay. First off, it's my girlfriend. Apologize." "Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Juliette Lewis." I'm like, "Bro, like what? Like I guess somewhere in some magazine that said I was dating her." I'm like, "Bro,
Juliette Lewis."
And Juliette Lewis. She plays them on TV. She's not white trash.
I think she's in Scientology.
Yeah.
And they say you're the one who's doing crazy things.
Yeah. But then I said, look, and secondly, I know where you live. If you ever do that again, talk about my family or friends on an interview anywhere, I'll come to your house and beat you in your living room. You got that? He said, I'm sorry, man. Okay, we're cool then. But
Chuck, are you sure I can't get you a drink? Something to take the edge off. All this talk about beating people up in their own homes, it's a little unnerving here in my home.
Well,
I'm just fucking.
Yeah, no, but it's like different though. Like it's like.
But it must be interesting to go through the world as you do, as a guy who can pull that arrow out of your quiver. Most of us can't be like, if something bad happens, well, we have to go through channels or call HR or get a lawyer or complain or something. Yeah. But you are, one of those people who can go right to, I'm going to come to your house and rain punches upon your face.
But for me, I'm one of those guys, that's my last option. I'm like, to be honest, like.
Sounds like it was the first.
Well, it's different when we're both professional fighters, so it's a different thing to me.
It is.
Yeah, it's a different thing because we're both professional fighters.
Well, because of course this fight should happen where people can pay and make you rich for having it.
Yeah. People used to ask me when we come in a club, used to ask me about Tito. They'd be like, "Hey, Tito's in there. Is it be okay?" I said, you got a couple $1 million? No. Okay, then we're gonna be fine.
That's perfect. Exactly. That's
yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
You're not that stupid.
Yeah. There's no.
Right?
We're not fighting for free.
Well, maybe he is. Not that I'm trying to start something.
No, he isn't either.
Hey, that's gonna be a good job for me when I'm like 89. I could be like. I can trade on my reputation for having a good debate show by like being the guy in the middle, and I have to like get you two cockfighting. I think I can do it very easily. But you already have beef with a lot of these guys, right?
No,
You have to. Don't you have to hate somebody to punch them in the face?
absolutely not.
No. That is the funniest thing anyone's ever said on this show. Absolutely not. You just enjoy punching in the face.
I think like anger clouds judgment.
What?
Anger clouds judgment.
That's what Michael Corleone said in Godfather 3, a highly underrated movie. I really want Francis Ford Coppola to do this show because I feel like I could say to him what he's been. People have denied that Godfather 3 was a great movie too. Maybe not quite as great as the other two, but you love the guy.
It was still a great movie.
Still a great movie, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what Michael Corleone. That's one of his great lines in that was, "Don't get angry; it clouds your judgment." So you're never angry when you're in a fight?
No, I calm down. I actually calm down when I fight.
Oh, really? So you don't really hate them?
No. I'm just trying to end it. I don't get me wrong. I'm trying to end them when we're fighting.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm trying to end them as fast as possible. But as soon as I'm done, I'm hoping they're okay. I mean,
right.
I've had probably 2 fights where I had the guys. They didn't move for a while after I knocked them out, and I was actually sitting there going, "Oh man, come on, man, please move."
So what's it feel like? I got beat up once in high school, and I really didn't enjoy it. I got to say, like one guy held me down, another guy just punched my face. And ever since then, my appetite for seeing face punching, I feel like was diminished. But I I have seen you fight. I certainly watched with great interest the great Ali fights when I was 20 or whatever it was. And he was fighting in the jungle and I was in college. And I mean, it was Zaire and come on, there was so much drama. And when he won, that kind of stuff. But what does it feel like when somebody punches you in the face? Because I remembered it being very bad.
Well, I mean, for someone like me, like I've been doing so long. I did karate since I was 12, and it's like always it's just kind of that's like more of like that he's scoring, and I got to figure out how to not make him score, not let him do that
worry
again.
about your face?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I mean, looking at you now. Yeah, I would never guess if I didn't know that you were a guy who fought his whole life. You don't have any like.
Well, the funny thing is, I think I've been split under here like 3 times. Like I've been split over here a couple times.
I know guys your age who have much worse under eye problems.
Yeah, but I feel pretty well. My skin, I've got pretty good skin.
Well, listen, Kylie Jenner sells a line of concealer. I think. let me hook you up. No, it's the body does heal. I mean, but you must be like after a fight, there must be like pain in a lot of different places, right?
It depends. I mean, I had a fight. I fought down in Brazil it was 30 minutes, 1 round. Bare knuckle. We went the full.
Bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle. We went the full 30 minutes. Headbutts were allowed. Strikes to the groin were allowed. They allowed everything. But I mean, went through the whole fight. I had a couple bruises right here, and I had a cut under each eye, small cut under each eye. But other than that, I could have fought the next day.
Why? Because you're so good at evading your opponent's punches?
Well, you ate some of them, but they didn't beat me up that bad. But I've also been in a fight. I kicked a guy in the head once and knocked him out in the first round in a kickboxing match, and this part of my foot swelled up. By the time I got home, I couldn't walk for like 3 weeks because it was so swollen right here.
I've had that happen here playing basketball with my friends when I turned an ankle and I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. Are you kidding? That's nothing considering what you're putting yourself in the ring with.
I gotta say, my body's held together pretty well for what I put it through. I mean, I've got two levels.
But you're not doing it anymore,
No,
right?
no, I'm retired.
You would never consider it for any amount of money? Oh, look at you! It took 1 second to break you down. I hadn't got to this.
You never know. I mean, it's just
I hadn't got to the ye in money, and you gave up. I think that's not a good decision because you know what? You could. It's easy to think. I remember my 50s. It wasn't that long ago. It was the one before this one, and you kind of do still think you're 20. Like now I know I'm not.
No, I mean, it would have to be a lot of money. I don't think it's in the law. It would have to be a lot.
But you can't put a price on your brain. I mean, you don't think you risk?
It's taking its budget, but when you think about it, I mean, they're doing a lot better stuff with brain training and brain fixing stuff with the brain. So it's been
Fixing the brain. I don't think so.
I
don't think brain fixing is like their best suit right now. I don't think they got up to that. I think, the football players who have CTE, and I mean, there've been a lot of suicides. There's a lot of people who just are not happy. They're alcoholism, suicide, just angry at the wife all the time, and
Well, they're doing a lot of crazy stuff with that. We had a brain training thing where you do an EEG for you, and I was in one of my things, whatever it was, like from fight or flight, full time, like all day long.
Right.
And after about 20 sessions watching this thing with the electrode thing, I was back to normal. My EEG's back to normal, so they can fix some of it. And I'm not. Because a lot of
I can tell talking to you, you're 100%, you have zero mental problems. You're totally focused, tracked, articulate.
one thing is we've had for a long time is fighters, you get knocked out, you get suspended for a period of time. You can't fight first.
Right.
And if you're hurt, you can wait. You don't just don't set up another fight till you're ready to get ready. Right? Where in football the problem is you gotta be in the next play. For a long time, the next play, or you got to be in the next week, and they can't lose you for 3 weeks. They need you for week after week after week,
right.
And so they're taking that beating over and over again.
But do you miss punching people in the face? It seems like if you like it, it feels good. You want to keep.
I don't know that I miss the whole process of being a fighter. Going to training camp,
the guys.
Being able, going into training camp because it was like you got to shut off the rest of your world. I mean, I got to be in my own world. I like to be not really shut off, but you're able to not worry. Like I didn't worry about it. I just everyone knew I had one job. I get ready for this fight, get ready for the fight. If they got other stresses or other problems, they'll save it. If they can save it, if it can wait. They'll wait till after the fight to talk to me about it.
Right.
So you have that kind of grace, and then you got to go hang out with the guys, a couple times a day, and I got the routines you got into, and it was just I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed training. I like fighting. I like learning. I loved martial arts when I was a kid. I got into it when I first got into it. It really helped me. I was kind of like an AD, like all over the place kid, and it taught me how to focus because I wanted to learn this stuff, and they would make me sit there and do 500 on each side to learn before I could learn something new, and I wanted to learn. So it was just, it's I always like trying to figure things out, learn new things, add new things to my game.
What if one of the guys at the training camp was gay? What would happen? I'm just curious. Like, would they be accepted because it's 2023, or would it make it weird because the guys are?
Honestly, I don't know. No one cares.
Really?
I don't.
That's what I call progress. I'm always beating this drum on my show that, to acknowledge progress does not make you some sort of conservative or flag waver or anything. It's just to acknowledge reality. Like, it wasn't that long ago when, especially the macho sports, football, was like there were some gay players, but they could never come out.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's still places that people they find out, but like guys.
That's what I keep trying to tell people that especially, you're not even that young, but the younger generations especially, they don't care. They don't care about these things that the other generations, older generations did. So,
I'm a fighter. If you can fight, I don't care. If you can help me get ready for my fight, I don't care. Look, you're not going to make me do anything I don't want to do. So,
but it would be awkward if you were fighting a guy and he got an erection. Would it? That would be uncomfortable, would it not? If you got him in a clinch and he like. And he,
No,
It's like you'd tap out. You'd be like, I can't stand this guy's flashlight against my ass crack.
yeah, I might, if we were training, I might have tap, hey, bro, you have to take a break. Take a break. I'll be over here. Take care of yourself. Go.
Club Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. Just a year ago, artificial intelligence was found in sci-fi movies, but now this shit is real. You know what else is real? Giving your business a chance to kick ass and take names. Now it's time to give your business the edge by embracing new mediums to drive up sales and acquire customers by partnering with shows like mine. You can enjoy lower CPMs, elevating your brand in a space away from your competition. Generate up to 9 times more leads by combining the power of audio and video channels with text messaging and generate an ROI that puts your old ROI to shame. The best way to achieve these goals is through the team at Radioactive Media. They create national campaigns on podcasts, terrestrial, satellite, and streaming radio. Club Random has been partnering with Radioactive Media since the beginning, and they can create a customizable campaign for your company's needs. Radioactive Media has an exclusive deal to promote your product or service on Club Random with me and save up to 50%. Just lock in your first campaign this year. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text the word RANDOM to 511-511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategies with new and innovative ways that sound better. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today to save up to 50% in 2024. Terms, conditions, message, and data rates may apply. The holidays are here, which is perfect timing for today's sponsor, OneSkin. Whether you're traveling or hosting this year, OneSkin is your best defense against the havoc holiday stress can wreak on your skin. What makes OneSkin the best? Their products are powered by a groundbreaking peptide, OS1, which is the first ingredient scientifically proven to prevent the accumulation of aged cells, the primary culprit behind skin aging. The real magic? OS1 has actually been proven in the lab to actually reduce the biological age of skin by several years, meaning it not only prevents but slows down skin aging, leaving you with healthier, more hydrated and glowing skin. OneSkin is one of the first products that address the root of aging, not just the symptoms. Seriously, try it. It's one of the main reasons people tell me I look good for my age. OneSkin just launched their mini bundles, which include face and eye topical supplement, body lotion, and cleanser, which all come in a cute travel bag. For a limited time, our listeners can enjoy an exclusive 15% off OneSkin products using the code RANDOM when you check out at oneskin.co, not .com, .co. It's time to get started with your new face, eye, and body routine at a discounted rate today. New customers get 15% off with the code RANDOM at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code RANDOM. The new year is approaching. Now's the best time to invest in your skin. Age healthy with OneSkin. But I feel like getting whatever the glory there is in it, and there must be great satisfaction, to be like the baddest dude on the planet status, but like to get punched in the face, I just remember that day, and it was just, and I was so ashamed that I got beat up like this, that I didn't want my father to know.
See, I would think like people like, okay, you had 2 guys jump you. Like, not most guys can't do anything about that. Most
right,
guys.
But I was 14. I mean,
especially at that.
Yes, you're just, and of course just the emotional trauma. And luckily, my father worked nights, so he wasn't. I didn't see him during the week. So my mother covered for me, and then he must have known because he did see. But my face, you're young, your face heals quickly. But it was a mess. She kept me out of school for 2 weeks. Told them I had bronchitis, but it was just it was the trauma of it, just as well as the physical pain. But you don't have any of that emotional baggage with it.
No. No, I,
No,
and I
it's,
fought a lot. I fought a lot. I fought a lot growing up. And usually was
hey,
always trying to. I hated bullies. I hate people. I
I
picked on
could think
people,
of a
and I loved fighting.
I can think of a million things I would rather not do than punch people in the face for a living. For example, proctologist. Like, would I rather punch people in the face or like stick my finger in their ass? Well,
Well,
no.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, there was a. I mean, I got. I mean, I remember. I was in high school. I used to say, "Man, it really sucks. It really sucks. I can't do. I can't get paid to do what I'm really the best at." I was talking about street fighting. It was like,
Right.
and I'm like, it turned out I actually wound up. That was. I mean, I graduated in '88, so UFC came. It was the first UFC was in '93.
Yeah, you really changed the game. Yeah. Invented the game, kind of. Yeah. I mean, when I was interested in the pugilistic arts, it didn't exist.
No,
There was no MMA. There was
no,
just boxing.
yeah, '93 was the
And
first UFC.
and there was a succession of boxers that, I thought were pretty interesting. I mean, nobody was Ali, but Holyfield was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The ear, and certainly Mike Tyson
Oh yeah,
was,
Mike was awesome. When he
super.
was in his prime, that
I
was
love Mike. He sat here.
yeah.
We chopped it up one night. And but George Foreman was a character.
Oh, yeah.
There was
I trained with his one of his sons. I think George Foreman 3 the other day. I got that long ago.
I think he named all his sons George,
Yeah.
which I am not passing comment on that at all. But there were characters, and I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I never can kind of watch it without thinking of that bad day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
That sucks.
I wasn't born you were like born the tough guy. You could, you should be like you should do, like Schwarzenegger did, like, who's this did, like The Rock did. Like,
Oh yeah.
you don't want to do that?
Oh no, I'd love to.
Oh,
Sure. I'm in. I'm in. We get it going.
yeah, you got the look, and people, the popcorn crowd loves to see a guy who can kick ass. It's like one of the most American things there is. Is like, we like a guy who can kick ass. I mean, you got to do it. You can't do it, in the service of a bad cause.
Right.
You can't do it to protect the Confederacy or, pedophilia or something. You got to do it in the right cause.
Right.
So,
Gotcha. I understand.
And yeah, no, we can definitely make you into the next action star. And we don't need a special power. You're big and strong. You got the old school.
Perfect.
And now there's nothing in your past that we have to worry about, is there? Or what about your political opinions down the middle?
For the most part, yes.
Like who? Like,
Look, man. I believe, people have their rights to an opinion. And I got friends that have different opinions on a lot of things.
good.
Because we can have.
Yes.
I mean,
this is what I'm always preaching. We don't have to agree to not hate each other.
Yeah, exactly.
On almost anything.
And
And there's a few things,
Yeah, trust me.
obviously pedophilia.
Yeah,
I can't have any room for that. Or cannibalism. I feel like that should be out of bounds completely. But you got to give people a wide leeway in how they see the world differently than you.
And
which results in their.
I tell people all the time, I'll listen to anybody's opinion.
Right.
I mean, and as long as you have, I'm okay with your opinion as long as you're consistent with your beliefs. But when you're talking about stuff, but I'll listen to it, and if I'm pretty set in my ways with a lot of things. But if you can convince me I'm wrong, I'm happy to change. If you can convince me, or you might even, a lot of times I get a way to understand what you believe. Like I've had people convince me, oh, okay, now I understand why you think that or why you feel that. I don't agree with you, but now I can understand you better. and that's cool too. But I like talking to people about stuff. I get people like, oh, I get people, oh, I don't want you to talk to her because I don't want you to. Well, I just want to. I'm going to ask questions. That's all. I ask questions. I want to
No,
understand your belief. And if that's not okay, I'm sorry. Then I'll back off.
no,
Because for me, I'm like, if you as long as you don't come into as long as you don't directly affect my circle of people and my friends and family,
right.
we're good.
So I'm down with all that. Which party do you think is more judgy?
I don't honestly. I couldn't tell you actually. I mean, both sides. It's like I listen to both sides, and like I'll listen to different things, and I'll listen to them, and you're going. I'm more conservative than I mean, if I had to pick one, I'm more conservative. But
Yeah, so you don't have to apologize for it.
no, I'm not apologizing.
Yeah,
I won't.
I know,
I won't. But I tell people like, hey, but my thing is, I also don't. I mean, I'll look at these guys, and they'll try to make a mountain out of a molehill on this side about some little thing happened. I'm like, okay, he misspoke something or whatever. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
No, it's like same thing, but it's like I don't know. It just bothers me the way people just so you said so biased, or the way people use statistics. Statistics make me laugh. I always tell people I did a in college. My first.
Ones?
Yeah.
Which ones bother you?
No, the way people use them.
Yeah.
I would.
Give me an example of a statistic that is
I can't
misleading. I'm not arguing that you can lie with statistics for sure.
The way I was I did one on gun control, paper on gun control back in 88, 89.
Gun control.
Gun control. They had me do a paper for or against. But then they had, right after the teacher took, as you turned it in, she said, now go do it. Now go do it on the other side. When I went back to the library to argue the other side, I found they were quoting the same studies, both of them, both sides. It's just they're using the statistics different from the same study. And it was one of those things. I'm like, okay, so I started. I was like,
oh no,
my buddy sent me a thing. Ah man, I wish I would do the numbers, but he did a first, second, and third year of a presidency versus a second, third, and fourth. And I'm like, wait, so why did you use those numbers? Let me go look back. So I looked it all up because there was no other way that his guy came ahead in that whatever thing it was. The only way it came ahead if it was 1, 2, 3 and 2, 3, 4. Right. Any other version of that, it's like.
The people who were arguing against the idea that climate change is real and man-made and happening and accelerating, they found a year, I think it was 1998, which was an anomaly year. You know, things like climate don't go in a steady line. They go in a line that's squiggly, but it's going in a certain direction. And of course, for planet Earth, that line is going toward the bad side, constantly going up, but not straight. So they picked this one year, 1998, which is an aberration year, to make all sorts of lies, to your point about statistics lying, about how we really shouldn't worry about climate change. Because if you go from 1998 because 1998 was not the typical year. But the statistics are not something that's assailable. But it's essentially a lie. It's a lie with statistics.
Right. Exactly. But
so you follow things. You follow politics closely.
Well, not closely, a little bit here and there. Not real closely. But I got buddies that send me stuff, and like on both sides.
From both sides, that's good.
I get my send me some both sides.
Yeah.
And I can argue with them on both sides because I like to play devil's advocate.
Well, you have to get.
I think to understand. Tell me, is this your real belief? Do you know about it? Have you studied it? Do you understand it, or did you just see some meme somewhere and now you're sending it to me?
Right, exactly.
If you understand it, I'll listen.
It's so funny. Like people, I also get stuff from a zillion people from both sides, and more times than not, what I have to do if something intrigues me is take it into my office, into my writers' meeting, and say to the producers and the writers who work there, okay, this blah, 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 find out if it's true. Because I don't trust anybody. I don't trust them on the left. I don't trust them on the right. And most of the times, what I get back from my staff, who does know how to vet things, brilliant they are, is, well, it wasn't wrong what you were sent. It just wasn't the whole story.
Right.
Because no one wants to tell you the whole story. They just want to tell you the part that makes you join their team.
Right.
That's what I fucking hate about America these days. You know,
Well,
just tell me the whole story.
Yeah,
Just
tell
fucking-
me the whole story and let me make a decision.
What?
Let me make a choice.
Your
Knowing,
team doesn't have to win yeah, because everyone's team has to win, no one's winning. That's really where we are.
yeah, and I've been to play. Yeah, because that's the thing too. I've had people ask me about coming on their conservative show or whatever, and I said, okay, just so you know, be careful what you ask me, because I'm going to tell you what I believe, not what you want me to say.
Good.
I don't have a.
Good. We need more people like that.
I don't have a agenda, and I don't have like a party line. I don't,
fear. You certainly don't fear someone's going to beat you up over it.
Yeah. No, well,
See, that's a nice armor to have. But we need more people to do that. And I mean, if you're really sincere about that,
No,
because
I just
you
don't-
have to be. It's not what you have to fear from that is people who will turn on you in different ways because you didn't conform to the one true opinion. You know.
yeah, and that for me, honestly, I'm pretty good at it. Hey, if you don't like me, you don't like what I think, you don't like it, the door's over there.
Right.
I don't care. Like if you,
And
like,
I also know where you live.
yeah,
Let's not forget the living room thing, okay, asshole?
no, but like I used to tell, my oldest son, when he was having a problem with social media back, someone bullying him on there or something, saying bad things, saying bad things on that. I'm like, wait, son, let me take this for it. You know that kid? Nope. Does he know you? No. Has he talked to you? No. Do you look up to him for some reason? Has he done something that you find impressive? No. Okay. Then why the fuck do you care? And if you do, get off social media.
Right.
But that's all I got to say. Like if you can't handle that, because people, I'm all of a sudden, you want to look up mine? You want to see guys tell me they kick my ass? You think they kick my ass? No. Do I think I care?
Right.
If they could, come on by. Whatever. I mean, we can see. I mean,
I'm sure you must attract a lot of that.
no, I've never had that problem.
Well, but like, I think Sylvester Stallone once said something about how, like, when you're me and you're Rocky and you go out in public, everyone wants to fight you. The way, like, with me, maybe they want to debate me, you know, if they see me. They want to tell me a joke. You know what? People kind of want to mimic what they see you as publicly.
But I think a lot of times from the fighters, like sometimes guys will think, I'm a street fighter. He's a boxer, not a street fighter. I can beat him. Or he's a big football player. I can beat him. I'm a street fighter. I'm known as a heavy-handed brawler, street fighter. You know, and 9 out of 10 people see me. Oh, you're a lot bigger than I thought you were. And to be honest, the guys who would do that kind of thing, most of them are fans of mine anyway. And so if I'm just, and I worked in bars for like 8 years, 9 years, and I know how to turn a conversation to, I go and say something, okay. Hey, you know, we're making a lot of money now. You should be in the UFC if you're that tough. And they're like, oh, and I go tell their friends, I told them they could be in the UFC, and I got to sit back down and drink my beer. So
It's a lot like the animal world, isn't it?
yeah.
You know, the way humans, we're still animals, the way we posture and fight. You know, I have this pool over here, which I don't use, and the ducks like.
I saw them actually.
You saw the ducks?
I was out there. We were talking about them.
Oh, okay. So, like, yeah, when we first found them, it was like, oh, we got to get rid of the ducks. I said, no. You know what? I'm going to bequeath this pool to the ducks. It'll be a lot more interesting. I don't use this pool. I have another pool. Okay? Hate me. So it became the duck pond, and it was very idyllic for quite a while. There was just two there, Onyx and Ducky. And then, like, the pool became a battleground because other ducks came by. And so, like, some days there'd just be a lot of feathers in the pool. And I've seen some of the duck fights, you know.
That'd be interesting, actually.
It's not what I envisioned. I thought, oh, a duck pond, this will be so pastoral and idyllic and peaceful, and it's actually fucking MMA with wings.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, every day there's a fight for this pool, and I mean, I don't know what to do to solve this problem. It's why I've called you here.
Perfect.
You're an expert in fighting. What should I do to? I mean,
go out there and referee.
They could fucking share the pool. You've heard the headlines. Inflation is unchecked. The dollar is collapsing. The government is printing too much money. The fear is real, but there is a solution. Gold. The government can't print more gold. Gold isn't collapsing, and gold's value increases during inflationary times. Noble Gold Investments is here to help you protect your wealth. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just getting started, Noble Gold Investments makes it simple and safe to invest in gold. They walk you through the entire process and guide you towards the investment that meets your financial needs and goals. Noble Gold Investment offers two ways to hold gold: in a tax-advantaged gold IRA, or you can have your gold delivered right to your door. You decide how you want to hold your investment, and they'll make the transaction seamless and easy. With Noble Gold Investment, you can rest assured knowing you're protecting yourself and your wealth. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com/random to get started. That's noblegoldinvestments.com/random. Did you know most of the shampoo out there that you're using is actually terrible for your scalp, stripping valuable oils and blocking the sebaceous glands? Not sure what those glands are, but they sure sound important. Regular shampoo has harsh chemicals and detergents that are literally wreaking havoc on your scalp, making it so bad that if your hair could talk, it would say, "Help! I'm being poisoned." Fortunately, now there are Neil naturopathic products with no harsh chemicals and detergents. Just 100% natural ingredients that provide nutrition and healing for the scalp, roots, and hair. I know, because I use it every time I wash my hair. And trust me, I save anything harsh for my lungs. Neil naturopathic products have been formulated by a holistic naturopath with 40 years experience and are made in small batches here in Los Angeles. Neil naturopathic has everything you've been looking for to make your hair grow stronger and healthier. Neil naturopathic shampoos, conditioners, hair, and scalp oils, along with their accessories, are a game changer and leader in raising the caliber of your hair health. You can find them at neilnaturopathic.com. That's Neil naturopathic.com. And for Club Random fans, they have 15% discount on your first order. Use code BILL15 and feed your scalp and hair. That's BILL15. Really, I use it. I think it's doing pretty good. Check out neilnaturopathic.com. Where do you live, Chuck?
Hidden Hills.
Oh, you live out here?
Yeah.
Everybody fucking lives out here, don't they? I mean, everybody, like, why do you need to be out here? You don't. Like, lots of people, like, I need to be out here because there's like I work at a TV studio. That's where the studios are. They're in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Okay, but like so many people who don't have to be here, like for all the shit LA takes, everybody's here.
Well, honestly, I was in San Luis Obispo and I would have stayed there. When I got married, my wife was, her daughter was doing movies. And to move up to SLO would have meant the movies were done. She just, she's doing auditions. She's doing auditions in some movies. She got, I got some, she was on like, I think it was All My Children and.
Oh.
And she had a couple cool like Hallmark movies she was in, so main characters. But for her moving up there with me, but I just retired, and her moving up there would have meant it was over. We're not going to drive all the way down to LA for auditions. Right. And so I'm okay. Yeah, I can. We'll try it out. I rented a house in Hidden Hills. I really loved it in there, and wound up moving down.
Boy,
she got out of the movie thing a little bit later, but I was okay with that. I was,
But so you're single now?
Yeah.
Well, join the club. there's a support group here. I'm the president because I never got married. You know, I never quite understood that whole thing. I know it has advantages sometimes. I certainly have been in long-term relationships and know the beauty and love that goes there. But I don't know. It just it's a when it gets to be where you ask people how's it going, and it's like, well, it's work. It's like, okay, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work.
Yeah,
And
with you.
everybody always
Trust me,
says
I'm
that.
with you.
What? Relationships
you.
are work. And they
No.
say it, they don't even say it like it's a bad thing. They're just saying it like, you're a good person if you are willing to do the work. Were you willing to do the work, Chuck? Did you do the work?
I tried.
You did?
That's right.
You tried? You did the
for
work?
For the kids, that was
No, but in the relationship, did you do the work?
I tried. Yeah.
I bet you did. You seem like the kind of guy who, when you go for something, you don't go for it totally.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
It is what it is.
I don't know. They always said it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But when you're going through a breakup, that isn't true. It's just some bullshit from 1808 or something, No, that's not true. I mean, if an ex becomes a great friend, then the pain of the breakup hopefully is worth it for both of you.
Yeah.
You see that in the future with your ex?
No.
You you have the best natural comic timing. I got to tell you, you don't even have to think. Don't think about it. I don't want to make you self-conscious, but man, you and just stick to that.
I actually did a thing with where it was actually pretty fun. Like I really always said I didn't really like entertaining, but I think I really do, because I went up and I was doing a thing with David Spade, and he put an earpiece in, and I went to an open mic. I was just saying whatever he told me to say.
David Spade was in your ear.
Yeah. And I was saying for a show, and I was saying, and I was doing it to a crowd, doing a comedy thing,
Oh my God.
and it was fun. I mean, people were laughing and having a good time, and I had no idea what he was going to say, and I just had to.
So they get David Spade's brain, and they get to look at you. It's a win-win.
Yeah. But I actually really kind of enjoyed being up there, even though it wasn't me doing it. I was just kind of, but it was fun.
Well, that's a little catch
cool.
about comedy. You can't do. I mean, you gotta. Although I guess with modern technology, fucking AI could probably do it. Not at the top level, but AI could definitely do
for open mic night. It's
open
fine.
mic night, exactly. Or I think they could also do the Cleveland Comedy Club. I say that as a lover of Cleveland. I was just in Cleveland. Lovely town. But, okay, so we decided you're going to be a big action star.
Nice.
Really? I mean, who who would be better at that? I can't even think. Yeah, no. I mean, you got the fame, you got the name, you got the rep. You're an OG, but you're not over the hill.
Right.
Right.
So I agree with you on all points.
I should be your publicist.
I know.
Or your agent. What the fuck are they doing for you? That I have to come up with all the good ideas. Jesus Christ. Monday, you got to go in there. You got to kick some ass with your agent and your publicist.
All right.
You should already be Thor Man. And that's your catchphrase. I'm Thor. I'm Thor. Did I mention it's a gay? That's groundbreaking. Would you do it for the love of $1 billion franchise? Would you be gay? Gay
Thor.
Because there are gay guys who can fucking kick ass. Would you kiss a guy on camera if it was?
They're drawing the line somewhere. Sorry.
All right, we could
Sorry.
CGI that in. We can CGI the dick. We can CGI everything. Yeah, I see that in your future. But what? Okay, so you're a divorced dad.
Yep.
You're like that guy in every fucking movie on streaming. You and what do you drive, Chuck? Let's complete this picture. A divorced dad who drives a
Well, I still have my H2 from the UFC
what's that? A Hummer?
Hummer.
You drive a Hummer.
No, I actually drive. I usually drive the Escalade though. Driving kids.
I mean, come on.
But yeah,
You gotta go.
yes,
Of course. We're gonna go against the brand. What are you gonna be in a Subaru? Come on. Okay, so a divorced dad, 2 kids. I love this for a sitcom also. Former MMA champion and you know, we got to make this.
Everyone laughed. Like my daughter does competitive cheer, and people are like, you're a cheer dad too. I'm like,
A what?
cheer dad.
What's that?
Cause I'm just supporting my daughter does competitive cheer, so I'm there watching her. So I'm just a dad.
They have a name for this? A cheer dad?
Coach, I go, you're a cheer dad too. I'm like, yeah. So my daughter cheers.
Oh God.
I'm here supporting her. What do you think?
So that's a real term, cheer dad.
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you definitely should not fight again because your balls have shrunk a little just from being called a cheer dad. Okay. So, but it's great that you're.
But I'm telling you, for
The
my
things
little,
you
my
do
little
for
girl, yeah, my
anything
little
for your
girl,
kids.
Yeah, I
No.
don't care.
I say that like I have kids, but I mean I know that again. And I see this from the outside. I don't understand it, but I see it. I would be so nervous to have kids because what if they're fuck ups? And it would not necessarily be your fault.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You know, sometimes fate just.
Yeah, some people like,
But I guess you're. But I also would say, 90% of the time, I do think a parent can shape a kid into a decent human being.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
with
those
that.
are good odds
Yeah,
if you do it right. I imagine you are fairly strict.
fairly, but I'm reasonable. I mean, I was raised. My mom raised me like basically to think for yourself, and I was allowed to actually argue with respect. Allowed to argue with her, like try to prove my point. I didn't win very often, but if I could put a good argument together and convince her that maybe it's okay, she give in every once in a while.
But I'll tell you something my father was allowed to do to me that you are not allowed to do, which is spank, especially you.
And,
It's like
well,
you think-
I've never had to.
I know, but you never would want to, Chuck.
I don't want to either, no.
No, because they would say, you know, this guy of all the people who shouldn't be hitting, you know,
Well,
with the.
I always tell my grandpa. My grandpa was my acted as my father. I mean, we moved in with my grandparents when I was 8, and I remember he spanked me when I was 12, and I was crying because I had to, so he'd stop spanking me. And then when I didn't care. At that point, he couldn't hurt me. And he'd always say he's gonna hurt me more than hurt you. I went out and he was sitting there crying at the table. I was like, oh, okay, I can't do that again. It was like that's what got me, not him hit me.
Did he felt so bad about it?
Yeah, he felt so bad about it, but he felt like it was something he had to do to teach me a lesson.
And later on, when you showed up in his living room, no,
Yeah,
you always win in the end.
yeah,
No, that's very sweet.
yeah. But
Yeah.
he really.
Yeah, I mean,
He did it because he felt that was the right thing to do to teach you a lesson at that time. That's what he was right.
and that's why I am grateful for the spankings I got. They were few and far between. But when they
I knew I deserved every one I got.
yeah, but when they happened, it made the point that there was a way to go. There was a place to go that a parent was able to say to a child, "Well, this is like on DEFCON 2 level, okay? DEFCON 1 is we kick you out of the house, but So you got the message, and
Yeah. And my thing, I told my little ex when I first met her, she was like got mad at her daughter and grabbed her one time, and I'm like, look, hey, I'm not gonna tell you how to raise your kid, but if you want to spank her, whatever, that's fine, but just don't hit her out of anger.
right.
I mean, if you hit her for a purpose.
and see,
If you want to spank her because she need, but don't do it out of anger because you're gonna hurt her by mistake, and I know it's gonna
Right.
kill you. It's gonna hurt you.
And I know people will hate me for saying this. 'Cause they hate sometimes when I sort of delineate the differences between generations, but I'm sorry, it's what I truly believe. The reason why I'm okay with my father spanking me is because I trust that generation. That was the World War II generation, my parents.
Yeah,
Okay?
Grandpa.
Right, okay.
Too.
World War II.
Yeah.
They were good parents, you know. People were they just had a lot more boundaries and a lot more responsibility back then. And so I trust them generally to be able to handle spanking a kid. I don't trust that of today's generations because I think, like you say, there would be too much in anger or just stupid, people just got fucking stupider. So I just don't trust them to do it today, which is a sad comment.
Yeah. No.
But no, I'm sure you're
You ever see Idiocracy?
Idiocracy, the movie?
Movie, yeah.
The best.
I feel like sometimes we're used to like that.
So funny you mentioned
graph.
that movie. Listen to this. So I just got a new car, right? Okay, it's electric, and of course, everything is so high tech, and it has this, console in the middle, and it asks for your name, and I didn't want to have my real name in there because when you turn it on, it'll say hello, Bill Maher, and I'm like, no, I don't want, the valet guy's going to hear this or whatever. So I remember in the movie Idiocracy, they're trying to identify him. He's going through that machine, and the robot voice is like, what is the name? And he's like, well, I'm not sure if you want the name that I'm using. Not sure. They print on him, not sure. That's his name. So so my name in my car is not sure.
That's awesome.
So when I turn on the car, it's like, hello, not sure.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's so good. That's funny. I love that movie.
So in the sitcom I'm putting you in now, you're a divorced dad with 2 kids, and you ride around in a Hummer. I like the Hummer better. I think that you are a Trump voter in a liberal town. And you wear the MAGA hat once at a softball game with your daughter, and that's the pilot. No, it's no Succession. But I think CBS might bite. What do you do now that that's a good question. What do you do now that you're single? What's your social life like?
Well, actually, I've seen a girl now, so.
So you have a new girlfriend already?
Yeah, and she's a girl from that I used to hang out way back.
Way back?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
We've been friends for 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny, but I hear a lot of relationships like that. I mean, from people I know, I just feel like I've heard that a lot. Like, oh yeah, I'm with somebody. Oh really? How'd you meet? Well, I knew him a long time ago. And it's like, people have this connection and then it's just the timing is wrong.
Right.
And one of them maybe had to mature. Wink, wink.
Yeah, that's
the one with the penis usually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you have a comfort level and a...
Yeah, we're cool.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So where do you think that's going to go?
Oh,
would you get married again, or are you like?
Yeah, I would.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid Rock has a song about being 50, and it was something like, I used to get blown on the tour bus. Now I'm more likely to be at Toys R Us.
That's funny.
That's kind of what I never got, about going down that path in life, like that path that people have, like, oh, hey, we like each other, and then we move to the next step is like, oh, well, now we're kind of getting exclusive, and, oh, we've been together a couple of years, I mean, we probably should get engaged, and then, okay, we're getting engaged, and means we're gonna get married. We should set a date. There's this path. You're just, I feel like I'm walking down death row. And it's just, okay. So then we're gonna get married, and then we're gonna children, and there's just this path that it always seemed to me like a corridor. That I was walking down, and then I just wanted to be able to have it was like the thing when you walk onto the plane. I want escape route off of it, but it didn't exist.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's an interesting way to look at it. And I think I did for a long time. I was single until I was
Rainn
almost
Wilson
40.
was here before. We had such a fun time. You took a picture with him.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, he's a great guy. But he was like so many people who've sat in that chair. They tell me that they're were in therapy. You know, and he was saying how much, and I totally believe him, how much his therapist helped him. And he said, for 21 years. And I said, 21 years, isn't that proof it's not working? Which may be wrong, because he said, no, it's proof that it is working because I'm so happy, and like he was, you know, genuinely happy in his life. But I've never, I've never really gotten the whole therapy thing. I had stuck my toe in a couple of times, and I was like, I almost couldn't stop laughing out loud at what was going on in there. Now, maybe that was just me, but you don't seem like you're a therapy guy.
I've been to marriage counselor for a little bit.
That's what mine was.
But we went.
It was
we
a
went,
relationship counselor.
Yeah, and it was pretty much. I mean, I think she was going there to try to get him to change me. Like it's like, it's like
I hate to be that guy, but exactly, bro.
I was 40 when we met. You know who I am. You knew who I was, and you know who I am. It's like, I don't know where I'm not. I'm 40. I was 48 maybe at the time. 40. I'm not. You know, I'm not changing anytime soon. I've been this way for 48 years. I'm pretty much stuck.
I never worked so hard to like pry open my mind, to keep an open mind about something, because I really said, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to like do it like, okay, I'm going to really, really try as hard as I can to think this, because it could be something. And therapy truly has helped millions and billions of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I found it ridiculous. and I really tried not to. I wanted it not to be ridiculous, but I just found it to be ridiculous. And like, only in the sense that like, you know, we're coming up against forces of nature that are so much deeper than just what can happen in a therapy session. And you can't change them. You can't change them. You can't change the nature of men and women and what works. What works? Woody Allen had that movie, Whatever Works. And I know a lot of people are snickering like, oh, he's one to talk about relationships. Well, don't get me started on Woody Allen and what an injustice and how un-American it is to have made him a pariah for something 2 investigations proved to their proof. You know, I mean, we don't know for sure what the truth is, but for the investigation to say he was innocent, he did not molest his 5-year-old daughter.
It's like people love to do that with famous people. That it's like what happened to innocent until proven guilty with a lot of things.
Oh, I know. Oh, do you fear cancel culture? Do you? Have they tried to get rid? I mean, how can they get rid of you? It just seems like
I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't know. It's kind of. I don't.
You definitely don't belong to the left, so they can't excommunicate you because you don't live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with people. I mean, I have people.
Right.
You know, I'm fine. We can be friends. You know, a lot of the stuff that they're going too eager, you going after them so far one way. It's like no one cares. Like no one cares. You had drag shows. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone cares. I don't know anyone that does.
People don't care about drag shows. They do care, I think, legitimately about bringing 5-year-olds to them.
Yes, 100%. And I saw one. I saw someone sent me a video. Some kid was throwing $1 at. If I took my son, who's 9, to a bikini bar,
right?
I get supervised visitation.
Yeah, right. No, right.
And had him throwing dollars at a stripper at a bikini bar. I'd get, but I could take him to a drag show and have him throw dollars at this dude.
Right.
I mean, they're not necessarily trans. Some of them are just
right. And it's like
drag.
It's like, can't we just? I just always want to say, can't we just go back to like 5 years ago? I'm not trying to turn the clock all the way back. I'm just saying, like, do we have to get children involved in our political squabbles about sex and gender and race? Can't they just have age 5 to 10 to think about bullshit, not their dick yet, and not the color of their skin, and all this kind
100%.
of, or do we have to force this? It's like, and that's what we did 5 years ago. So
I go back to like I'm gonna give myself trouble talking about BLM, but to talk about BLM with my kid, I was trying to explain what was going on to my kid. Someone wanted me to explain it, so I'm okay. Trying to explain. So I was telling my daughter, okay, this your friend is black. This friend's black. And this friend, your other friend that's black. I was pointing out some of their friends were black, and then I went and they go, Dad, you're wrong. He's brown. And I went, you know what? I'm good. We're good. I'm done talking. It's a color to them. They were kids. It's a color.
Well,
why do we have to teach them? Why do we have to teach them race?
Chuck, you can't be done. You got to stay in that fight because it's not that hard. Yeah. But I admit, I agree. Rather, it's just annoying.
Well,
but like that's where that generation is. They're just my like philosophical view of it is they romanticize the idea of the social justice warrior. To them, that's the highest type of warrior, a certain type of kid, right? So they want to have all these causes. But a lot of the heavy lifting was done by other generations. But since they weren't alive for that, it didn't happen. So when they say things are worse than they've ever been, that's because things are worse than they've ever been in their lifetime.
Right.
You know, and they're 12.
Right.
So
I agree with. I mean,
so they're going to be like race obsessed, and you know, I mean, I'm not a parent, but if I was, I would make sure the kids knew I was an old school liberal on race before I also then interjected the idea, but there is also a lot of nuttiness on the other side going on now. Race obsessed is different than race is a number one issue in America and we need to always be aware of it and work on it. That's different than just everything is race. You know, if Angela Bassett doesn't win the Oscar, it's not a racial thing. Like some people, like in 2023, are you kidding? They're trying more to give it to people of color.
100%. That's
okay. So, you know, to make a racial issue of everything, that to be against that does not make me a conservative. I don't know what you call yourself. You say you're in the middle. That's great. Yeah. I think even if we didn't agree on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, if people ask, I mean, I lean conservative. I mean, I'm probably fiscally conservative more than anything, but I'm like, I believe in live and let live.
You're a big, badass bruiser. Of course you're a conservative. What the fuck do they think you're doing? Like sitting around with a lute? Like, fucking,
but
no. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody has to sort of accept that they live in a country where half the people are nothing like you. They're like from a different planet. But they're not from a different planet. They're not even from a different country. And actually, like, again, the progress thing, I just find it so interesting that we don't like stop and memorialize. Okay, it wasn't that long ago when the sports, especially the tough guy sports, would not entertain these ideas about gayness or trans, and now it's just completely different. And it's funny that what used to be the liberal position on women in sports, which was Title IX, they passed Title IX in 1972, and it said every college and university has to have a program that gives equal resources to the women in sports. And yet because of that, they eliminated a lot of male sports,
right?
So that
a lot of fringe male sports, and because they had to keep football, which had the most money spent on it, because it makes money,
right?
You know, it makes the most money.
Anyway, but that's what the old school was, that women should have equal.
Now they're arguing that they should be able to, that they're trans, that people should be able to.
Well, that's my point.
That's
It's like
ridiculous.
now they've completely undone what liberals did with Title IX. Had its flaws, yes, but it was a great start. That women's sports are equal, but not the same. And the idea that you put some of these obviously male athletes, I mean, I think that the swimmer was still had a penis and was still dating women, which was, I think, what I would define as a dude.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
It was like some like it hot. They just put a wig on and jumped in the pool. I mean, come on. So again, this.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's just not. It's not competitive.
And it's
fair. I mean,
and
when they say that when they say his place time, you especially in sports like that, you can look at the time. If he was completely in the male side of that, he wouldn't even been close.
And this is the thing. Again, that makes people into Trump voters is that there is this level of being divorced from the reality of life. Like men are pregnant and women are just as good at sports, that strikes a lot of people as like, yeah, I don't know what your exact policy is on this or this. I just know that people who think like that, I can't trust them with leadership. That's a big problem. There's an article in The Atlantic, which is a very esteemed magazine, and the title of it was Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense. Of course, it does make sense for obvious reasons. And then it went on to, I mean, a whole article they printed where if I read you some of these quotes, you'd be like, it's LOL funny. How divorced from reality. And as if it was even an insult to say that women are not as physically strong.
But it's like, I'll tell you, I call my really liberal friends, so the funny thing about them is they will not denounce anything on the liberal side of politics.
Yeah, that is a problem. It's a problem on the right, too.
Not one thing. Like if you can't, but I mean, it's like, the racist or, look, I don't know one of my conservative friends that doesn't have a problem with a racist.
Exactly.
It's not. I don't know one of them, but then they'll denounce someone. They'll tell you, that guy's an asshole. I don't like that guy.
Right.
They're more than happy to do that. But I mean, if you can't even look, this is not. It's not you. And I know. Look, okay, I know you. We hang out. I know you're not okay with that. Why can't you say you're not okay with it? Because it's a liberal policy point. I mean, it's like. Why can't you just speak up, speak your mind? Because that's not your mind.
And also just assess everything by the merit of it as an idea and not by who said it, what race they were when they said it. Just what's true and what's not true. Right. Instead of just like, that can't be true because you're on the other side.
Right.
Because you're on the other team.
Let me find out. Let me find something. But, it's like they say with someone was saying, you can exchange your phone with someone else at a different thing and just see the news feed you get.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah. Because it's like that.
But you say you get from both sides.
Because people, I have friends on both sides.
Good.
Like Social Dilemma, they're talking about how people. It's just how the social media, like, kind of, it kind of feeds you down those rabbit holes of stuff that it reinforces what you believe.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
But I can read, like, for me, like when I start reading an article and I go, on either side, it's like I can tell that they're just trying to.
Exactly.
It's so biased one way that I'm like, I don't have time to do this because I'm now gonna have to go read 3 more articles to figure out if this is right.
That's what I'm saying. Why I need a professional staff.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that.
Yeah.
To actually vet this and find out, okay, that part of what you said is true. This is misleading. Here's the other argument. Some of that is bullshit also, and some is true. And but who has that?
Yeah, 100%.
Most
people don't. Like, I like every once in a while I'll go through with a buddy like that sends me some crazy meme. I'm okay, hold on. Let me research this for a minute.
It's so gross.
Now I'm going to send you what This is what it
Right.
really. This is yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
true, but it's not. It's
you
not
see-
representative of what the answer really should be
We-
or could be.
This may be a little inside politics, and don't feel bad to say I didn't follow this, but there was a commission appointed to look into the FBI's investigation of Trump for being connected with Russia.
Right.
Called the Durham. John Durham
I
did
heard
it. You heard about
I
that?
didn't hear the rules. I didn't look
Okay,
closely, but
but this is the kind of thing we're talking about. So John Durham, he's this prosecutor, seems to be a little leaning right. He was looked into, not into Trump's connections with Russia, which I won't bore everyone, but there are some very obvious connections with Russia. Like his campaign manager shared information with the Russian Secret Service. Okay, little things like that. But we won't go through that. That was 5 years ago. So the commission comes out, and John Durham, it took like 4 years looking at, and again, they're looking into the investigation of the investigation. And, the conservative papers were all like, just as we said, just as we thought, this was a hoax, and they set him up. But when you look at what the facts were, this was a 4-year investigation, 2 very minor indictments of people peripherally involved with the Clinton campaign that were both acquittals, I believe. Or one was like, I think it was guilty, but it was guilty of like lying to the FBI, not guilty of the actual crime they were looking for. So like nobody like this is like, you're talking about statistics before.
Yeah.
This is like, to me, okay, this is the statistic. This is the actual thing. After 4 years, the guy didn't bring any cases except 2 little ones that he only half won. So for those of you who are saying this proves Trump was set up, I can see you're lying. And the other side does it too. There were things that the FBI should have done differently and blah, 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 and they downplay that. But basically, like, if I have to find a ref, I like to find something that's in, like, actual facts. Like, he only brought 2 cases, and they did not succeed in front of juries. Now, people are stupid, maybe the juries were, but it basically looks like you got nothing. The FBI was looking into Trump for very good reasons, because he was fucking connected with Russia in a million ways. He didn't act, there's no smoking gun where he flew to the Kremlin, peed in a bed with a hooker, and then somebody said, okay, and here's the information on Hillary. But he encouraged it publicly. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you, Russia,
I think I saw Hillary encourage China to do it.
Hillary did not encourage China to do it. Actually, I did a bit.
It was on a thing. I think she was being fun, trying to be funny.
I did
an interview.
I did a bit that she should do that. And about a year later, then she said it.
Oh, that was what it was?
Possibly because of someone had hipped her. I doubt she watches my show, but someone probably hipped her to that. Maybe it's a coincidence, but yes.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying she
No.
that's an interview. I just remember seeing that.
You're right, and that was a mistake too. It wasn't nearly as consequential because she wasn't running for president at the time. He was actually saying during a presidential election.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know timing on it, and I don't. Like I said, like I try not to get too much into stuff that I didn't follow much, like the Durham report. I don't follow that.
Well,
I don't have enough information to argue it.
Well, I'm telling you, it's important information that Donald Trump is a guy who's not above taking help from people who nobody ever used help from in elections. We fought like dogs for elections, but we had one rule: don't bring any outside ringers in. You know, I used to play in this softball league in New York called the Broadway Show League. It was the comedians and the people in Broadway shows, not muscle men like you. Okay, actors, singers, dancers, comics. And, so we'd play against each other. It was fun. And sometimes someone would bring in a ringer. Somebody you're like, where does this guy, what show is he in? Because he looks like ex-major leaguer, And sure enough, it was like some ringer. And that was considered a great faux pas. You should not bring in a ringer.
Right.
And I would say the same thing about Donald Trump and Russia. Don't bring in a ringer. Fight here in America against your American foe, and don't take help from the people who do not have our best interests at heart, who are our enemies. And, you know, it's hard for me to reconcile how patriot-loving Americans can abide that in their big hero, Donald Trump.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't follow any of that. So
Why? Your friends didn't write you out that shit?
No, I didn't get that back then. I don't know why.
Who would you, if you could pick anybody to be president, who would it be?
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I mean, I've always said I want an option that's not the, you know.
You what?
I want an option that's not the lesser of two evils. But
Is nobody, were you coming up who like really stood out as somebody who had a lot of integrity and stood by you? And
I mean, I came up. I mean, me and my trainer, like I just came up. I don't know. A lot of people I liked, but I mean, I don't know if they'd even be interested in being president.
No, but you're saying you did it all yourself.
Did what?
Made it.
Well, I mean,
there was no like mentor.
Not really.
No,
I mean, I had my trainer, my trainer helped me, but it was like he was my striking coach and helped me, and I kind of met. I had a jiu-jitsu coach, and I kind of put it all together. Kind of built it together myself. Put it together as a team, and I mean, my trainer, he helped me put the final touches on a lot of things. My jiu-jitsu coach, he helped me, become a better fighter. A lot of people along the way. But I don't know.
It all kind of just comes down to.
Yeah, it comes down to
you.
Yeah. Fighting.
That's cool. It's not. I mean, it's just not that way for everybody. But I totally get it. That's. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's part of being part of a sport that was just coming up too. Like it was just the beginning of a sport. It was like.
No, you were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So it makes.
I mean, I think it really helped. Like when I came into it, okay, you have kind of like three elements, right? You have striking, some kind of striking. You have wrestling from, and then jiu-jitsu, ground stuff, ground fighting. And I came in from, I had a wrestling background. I was a striker, and I had to learn one. So most guys were coming in with one that they're really good at, and I had to learn the other two. So I had a little bit of an advantage that I had two that I was pretty good at,
right?
And I had to learn a third,
right?
I just had to learn one, so it gave me a little bit of advantage that way in the beginning.
So if you were in a bar and a fight broke out and you had to be in it, which of these?
I prefer striking. Always have.
Striking.
Punching or kicking.
Punching people in the face.
Punching people in the face or kicking. Yeah.
Oh, everything comes back to punching people in the face. I wish I could have had a life where I was able to punch people in the face. I bet you it's really satisfying in a certain way, as much as we hate to say it. But as long as you're not like really killing them, and sometimes they've been obnoxious and they deserve it, and they're young, it's going to heal. Again, your face looks perfectly fine. You're ready for your close-up as the next action star. All we got to do now. Is the mohawk a deal breaker? Is that your?
No, it's my thing. But I mean, I've changed it for movies. I've done.
Oh, you have.
I've pretty much. It takes a little while to grow some out, but this is as long as it's been for.
It's decided. You will be the first gay superhero. It's perfect because again, you're so macho. Like you're the most macho guy there is. So like of all the people in the world who can afford to like then be a gay superhero, again, just a character, and we'll cut out the kissing, or we'll CGI it. All right, I can be the producer?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks for
that
having
was
me.
a lot of fun.
Club Random.
You are a good sport, Chuck.
Club